Okay. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. Thank you all for coming. Today we'll do a story about seeking knowledge. When I say seeking knowledge, some people might equate that to going to school. I want to clarify that seeking knowledge is much more than going to school. In fact, seeking knowledge is something you do your entire life. Unfortunately, some people think that learning is lame or boring. And that's probably because we did not understand what learning is, or what the purpose of learning is. Why do we learn? One thing is, you learn because you want to live life to the fullest. You want to be smart in taking decisions. You don't want to make any dumb decisions. A lot of people do that, especially young people. If you want to live life and enjoy it, and not be gullible, easily deceived, you believe everything you hear, you want to seek knowledge, you want to learn. So inshallah today or tonight, we're going to see how that is done. And the best story is the story of the prophets, peace be upon them. Today we'll talk about the story of Musa alayhi salam. We started last time or 2 weeks ago, but today inshallah we'll cover the entire story. وإذ قال موسى لفتاه لا أبرح حتى أبلغ مجمع البحرين أو أمضي حقبا. One reason people think that knowledge is lame is because they don't approach it properly. They think knowledge is information. But knowledge is curiosity, wanting to learn, having the passion and the drive to know something. It's way beyond school or college. And look at Musa alayhi salam. Look at his determination. He said to his boy, like his student, who's going to accompany him in a journey. Seeking knowledge is a journey. And the journey of Musa alayhi salam is to look for a teacher. I know many people don't like school because they don't like the teacher. They say, I don't have a good teacher. How many times you hear that? You hear it all the time. And they say, nowadays, we don't have good teachers. And the question is, we never had a good teacher. Don't think the old days were different. Good teachers are so hard to come by. In every age, every time, good teachers are few in number. This is why you have to look for them. They're not going to come to you. You have to go and search for a good teacher. That was exactly the journey of Musa alayhi salam. And look how driven he was. He said, I'm not going to stop until one or two things happen. Either I find my teacher or I'll keep looking. I don't care how long it takes. He said, أو أمضي حقبا. I can walk for حقب. حقب means either 1 year, some scholars have said 10 years, some have said 80 years. Imagine somebody on a journey for 80 years just to find a teacher. And look at this passion. I'm not going to stop, whatever it takes. I'm going to keep looking and looking and looking until I find my teacher. So if you find your teacher, make sure you hold on to it. Nowadays, we've forgotten even the manners and the etiquettes, how you deal with a teacher. So this was the statement of Musa right in the beginning, from the beginning of the story. He said, and basically his companion, you can say servant, but he was also a student. So now he's teaching his student. So you have like 3 levels here. We have the boy, Musa, and the teacher, Al-Khidr, who's going to come later. Musa, being the intermediate, he's a teacher to the boy, but he's also a student for that teacher to be found. So he told his student, I'm not going to stop. Watch me. See how determined I am. I'm not going to stop until I find my teacher. I get to my destination, my goal, my objective, or I'll keep searching. I'll keep looking. All right. So then it says, فَلَمَّا بَلَغَا مَجْمَعَ بَيْنِهِمَا. Now, Musa was only given 2 signs. Like, he's never met the teacher, so how can he find him? It's like a needle in a haystack. If you have a big pile of hay and you want to look for a needle, it's almost impossible. You imagine how many people there are, and Musa alayhi salam has never met his teacher. It's like you want to meet somebody, and you might go to a coffee shop or I don't know, a cafeteria, whatever, and that person is waiting for you, but you have no idea how they look like. So what do? Well, you either keep looking, and the other person will also look lost like you, so both of you look lost, and this is how you identify each other. Like he's looking around and you're looking around. Oh, you must be Mr. So-and-so. Oh yeah, nice to meet you. Or you're given some description. Oh, this man you're going to meet is like, has a beard, or might have glasses, or might look like this or that. So you need some signs. Musa alayhi salam was given 2 signs. One was major, and the other one was minor. The major sign is that you're going to meet him at a certain place. And that is the junction of 2 seas. Now God knows where that is. If you look around, if you look at the map of the Middle East where Musa was, there are many possibilities. It could have been the junction of the Red Sea with the Mediterranean Sea, where Alexandria is, if you're from Egypt. It could have been perhaps the 2 banks or the 2 branches of the Nile River meeting together somewhere in Sudan. It could be these 2 gulfs you see from the Red Sea. If you look at the Red Sea on the map, it looks like 2 horns. These are 2 gulfs where they meet. That's also a junction. But it also could be in Palestine, where you have the Galilee Sea, because the Jordan River goes into that sea. They meet, so that's also a junction of 2 bodies of water. And by the way, the Muslim scholars refer to that sea as Buhayra Tabariya. They refer to it as a lake, not a sea. Today on the map, if you look at it, you see the Sea of Galilee, but in the Muslim literature, it's called the Lake of Tabariya. Like at the end of days, when Ya'juj and Ma'juj come and drink from that lake, that is the Sea of Galilee. You see it on the map in Palestine. And Tabariya, today on the map, is not the name of the lake or the sea, it's the name of a village right by that sea. I think it's called Tiberias in English. So if you want to look for that word, Tiberias. That is Tabariya in Arabic.
It's not the Dead Sea?
No, the Dead Sea is different. If you look in Palestine, you see 2 big seas. One is the Dead Sea and the other one is the Sea of Galilee. And when I say Palestine today, it's occupied like the Israeli territory. But it is there. You see, and it's right at the border of Jordan and Palestine. The Golan Heights, yes. Golan Heights, yes. And the Sea of Galilee is closer, much closer to the Golan, the Golan Heights, yep. Very good. So that's another possibility, where the Jordan River meets that sea, the Sea of Galilee. And some scholars even said it is the junction of the Mediterranean with the Atlantic Ocean, which is way far. That's like Morocco. So imagine if Musa had to travel all that distance He was somewhere in the Sinai region, and he's traveled all the way to Morocco for that junction. Again, we don't know. There are different opinions on that. So that is one sign. The other sign, which is the minor sign, is that because once you get there, it's going to be a large area. So you need another sign. So the other sign was that the minute or the place you lose your lunch, you're going to find your teacher. You have to lose something to gain something. You don't get something valuable without a sacrifice. So he told him, wherever you lose your fish, the fish was for lunch, right? Wherever you lose your lunch, you're going to find your teacher. So that's all he was given. With all that information, Musa was to find his teacher. He never met him in his life. He has no idea how he looks like. That's all he got. Okay. So it says, فَلَمَّا بَلَغَا مَجْمَعَ بَيْنِهِمَا. When they arrived to the junction of the two seas. So now they arrived to the whereabouts. Musa still doesn't know where the teacher is. نَسِيَا حُوتَهُمَا. Here it says they forgot their fish, but it really means they lost their fish. You can't just forget your lunch, that's all you got. And by the way, most likely, they've been feeding on that lunch for a while. Quran doesn't tell us how long it took. It could have taken a day, a month, we don't know. And apparently, they did not get tired or exhausted. Because Musa was on a journey, and whenever you are on a journey that is worth it, you don't feel tired. If you're dying to know something, you won't feel the 5 hours you spent reading or researching or listening to something. So, what does that mean? It says they lost their fish and it took a path in the sea. Scholars have said here that Musa and his student were taking a nap. So they arrived to the junction of the two seas and they took a nap. They were tired, so they took a nap. And this is what the story says. Allah knows best. It's not in the Quran, but this is what scholars have said. It says that this has to be a miracle. While they were asleep, the fish got some water on it. Some splash of water. And some scholars say it is the water of life or the river of life. So somehow the fish comes back to life. It is revived by this water. And out of the box, the lunch box, jumps in the sea. And with that noise, the boy wakes up. So he sees the fish jumping into the sea and taking this path in the sea. Musa alayhi salam does not wake up. Now the boy says, I don't want to wake up Musa right now. He's so tired, I'm going to let him sleep. And he goes back to sleep as well. And then he wakes up later, Musa wakes up. What happens? The boy forgets that the fish has gone. So they get up and they leave. And both of them now have no idea, or at least the boy has forgotten, Musa has no idea that the fish has gone. So that's what it says. نَسِيَ حُوتَهُمَا يعني they forgot the fish. Or they lost it, rather. They lost it. فَاتَّخَذَ سَبِيلَهُ فِي الْبَحْرِ سَرَبًا. It took a straight path in the sea. فَلَمَّا جَاوَزَا. When they have gone beyond the place of the meeting. قَالَ لِفَتَاهُ آتِنَا غَدَاءَنَا. He told the boy, fetch us the lunch. Get us the lunch. We are tired. We are exhausted. Some scholars have said that Musa felt exhausted only after he had gone beyond the destination. In your life, when you're trying to get to the destination, you don't feel tired. Once you get there and you go beyond, you feel tired. So only this now Musa feels hungry and tired, and he asks the boy to get the lunch. And then it dawned on the boy, oh shoot, I forgot to tell Musa that we lost the fish. So only when Musa mentions the lunch, mentions the fish, the boy remembers. So he says, قال أرأيت إذ أوينا إلى الصخرة. The boy says, oh, do you remember the rock we took a rest on? That rock when we laid and took some rest. What happened? The fish jumped out of the lunchbox and we lost the fish at that location. Musa alayhi salam did not get upset. He forgot his hunger. He said, this is exactly what we wanted. This is the other sign. Let's go back. So he said, فإني نسيت الحوت وما أنسانيه إلا الشيطان وأن أذكره. He said, I forgot or we lost the fish and I forgot to tell you. So the second, there's two forgetfulness mentioned here. The first one means I lost it, and the second one means I forgot to tell you. وما أنسانيه إلا الشيطان وأن أذكره يعني أن أذكر له. Ibn Mas'ud used to recite this verse like that. He said, إلا الشيطان أن أذكر له يعني أن أذكر لموسى. So I forgot, and shaitan made me forget to mention the fish to Musa alayhi salam. And it took an amazing path in the sea because the boy was able to see the fish go in the sea. Musa did not see it, but the boy saw it. Musa alayhi salam says, قال ذلك ما كنا نبغي. This is exactly what we wanted. فارتدا على آثارهما قصصا. ارتدا, well, in the Islamic convention, if you will, irtadda is to apostate. It means to go back, to go backward. That is the meaning of irtadda. Here it means they turned and they started going back, step by step. Qasasa means one step at a time, tracing back the steps they took. Because they want to make sure they go back exactly where they were. So قصص, here it says يقصان أثر أو آثار مشيهما. Like you trace it one step at a time. There's one authentic hadith narrated in Bukhari that talks about the story of Musa and Khidr, and there are more details in the hadith, so I'll mention that also as we go. So they came back to the exact rock, and as soon as they get there, they find this man sitting on the rock. فَوَجَدَ عَبْدًا مِنْ عِبَادِنَا. Now look how the Quran describes this man. It says we saw, or فَوَجَدَ, they found a servant from our servants. So number one, when you seek knowledge, and this is why I say a lot of times today when we talk about knowledge and learning, people get it wrong. Who are the most arrogant people? The people who have, PhDs, right? I have 2 PhDs in this science or that science. This is not a sign of knowledge. This is a sign of ignorance. I don't care how many PhDs you hold. I don't care how many masters you hold. I don't care how many books you've read. When Allah described a person of learning, He said he's a servant. The more you learn, the more humble you become. So don't be misguided. Don't be confused. Knowledge is not learning. It's not information. Knowledge is not information. It's not how much you memorize. It's not how many facts you can summon. It's much more than that. So look at the description. It says they found a servant from our servants. آتَيْنَاهُ رَحْمَةً مِّنْ عِنْدِنَا. We have given him some of our mercy. A person of knowledge has to be merciful. وَعَلَّمْنَاهُ مِن لَدُنَّا عِلْمًا. And we've given him knowledge from our knowledge, from God's knowledge, from Allah's knowledge. That is true knowledge. Because sometimes you have knowledge, but you only know this much. You have no insight, or you have no foresight. You only can see this much. But the people who have true knowledge from God, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they have a great foresight. They can see the consequences of their actions before they do those actions. And that's really important. So this description is really crucial here. It says, this is a servant from the servants of God, from Allah. He was given a mercy from Allah, and he was given knowledge. This knowledge is divine. It is holy. It is sacred knowledge. This is the kind of knowledge we're talking about. Okay. Now Musa appeals to this teacher. Finally, he has found the teacher. But don't think the journey is over. Just by finding the teacher, this is just the beginning. Maybe the teacher won't accept you as a student. Maybe he doesn't want to teach you. And if he is a good teacher, he should not teach you until you're ready. If you're not a good student, he should not accept you. There's an interesting scholar of Islam. He was a teacher of hadith. And he was called Al-A'mash. The reason he's called Al-A'mash, it means somebody who cannot see well in his eye. Like he has a blurriness in his eye. He could see, he's not blind, but he has some blurriness in his eye. But he was such a strict teacher. He used to have some dogs by, guarding his house. Not from thieves, but from students. If you're not a serious student willing to risk it, and maybe risk a bite of a dog, I know this is extreme, and no student today will do this, but just to give you an idea. He said, I do not want any student until they're dead serious. If he's willing to risk going through these dogs and getting to me, they're worthy to be taught. Otherwise, I don't care. I don't care for those students. So one time, those really good students used to come to him every day and go through this hell of barking and everything. But one day, they came and there was no dog, and Al-A'mash was sitting and he was sad. He was looking down at the floor and he was sad. And they asked him, what happened, oh teacher? And he said, مَاتَ الَّذِي كَانَ يَأْمُرُ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَى عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ. He said, the one who used to command what's good and forbid what's evil died, meaning his dog. Anyway, you have to be serious. So Musa makes the appeal to the teacher. He said, قال له موسى هل أتبعك على أن تعلمني مما علمت رشدا. He said, can I follow you? Can I please follow you? Be your friend, your companion. You gotta be a companion to your teacher. This is how you learn. You follow the teacher, you examine, you observe what they say, how they act. This is how you learn. This is one way of learning. Learning is not dictation, like I come and give you a lecture for 2 hours and you just sit and listen. Learning is much more interactive. And it's totally fine and it's totally okay to be interactive. You can ask me questions anytime. You can interrupt anytime and ask me a question. That's totally fine. And there's no question that is off the table. I welcome any question. This should be part of learning, that you can ask, you're allowed to ask questions. But look how Musa was, like how polite he was with the teacher. Nowadays we have students who do not respect teachers. That's a big problem. So one thing we learn is that you have to be polite. So look, Musa was asking the teacher, he said, can I please follow you? He didn't say, you have to teach me. I am a prophet of God, I'm one of the best prophets, I spoke to God directly, I'm Musa, right? He didn't say that. He said, can I please follow you so I can learn something from your knowledge? على أن تعلمني مما, like, can you teach me a little of what you have? Just give me a little. And that tells us that, Musa is basically saying that even if I learn a little, that's enough for me. Like as if you have so much and I just want a little from it. Now think about it. In reality, Musa was very knowledgeable. And Musa knew many things that this teacher did not know. And the teacher knew something that Musa did not know. But don't think Musa was ignorant. He had lots and lots of knowledge. And most likely had much more knowledge than the teacher. And this could happen to you. You could go and learn something from a teacher. You could be a scholar. and you go learn something from a teacher. Because maybe there's one area you don't know. So don't say, well, I know so much. Who is this guy to teach me? Don't ever say that. You can learn from a kid sometimes. You can learn from someone below you. You can learn from someone who is 10 years younger than you, 20 years younger than you, 50 years younger than you. You can always learn. Because there's always something you don't understand that someone else understands. So don't ever think for a moment that this teacher, Al-Khidr, was more knowledgeable than Musa in everything. No. He only had few areas of knowledge that Musa did not know. Yet you see how humble Musa was. He said, teach me something from your vast knowledge. قال له موسى هل أتبعك على أن تعلمني مما علمت رشدا. One thing we also learn here. Notice what Musa says. He said, مما علمت رشدا. Like Musa understood the purpose of knowledge, which is Rashad, or you could say Rushd. Anybody called Rashid or Rashid or Rashad? It's a common name, right? Rashid is not here today, right? But you have different names, Rashad, Rashid, and Rashid. All means the same thing or similar. It comes from the word Rushd. Basically, the intention of Musa, he's saying, the reason I want to learn. Some people learn because they just want to increase their knowledge. Some people learn just because they want to increase their information, or they want to brag in front of their friends. Like, I know so much chemistry, I know so much political science, I know so much whatever. The reason Musa wanted to learn was not to brag, was not to increase his reserve of facts, of information. Rather, he said, because I want to be guided. I want to live life properly, and knowledge is the gateway. This is what Rashada is. I don't want to be fooled by others. This is why I'm learning. I want to be guided even more. So this is the reason why Musa wanted to learn, because he wanted to accomplish Rushd. Rushd is guidance. To know the difference between right and wrong, between good and evil. That's why he was learning. By the way, I really admire the people who bring notebooks. That's a sign that you're serious. Remember, one of the important components of seeking knowledge is to show seriousness about it. Immediately, the teacher says, you're not ready. Like, Khidr looks at Musa alayhi salam. Look at Musa, and a good teacher could do that. He could look in your face. He could read your face. He can tell if you are ready or not. And Al-Khidr does not waste a minute. He looks at Musa and he says, you're not ready. Like, get lost. I don't have time for you. قال إنك لن تستطيع معي صبرا. You cannot be patient with me. And look why. This is really important. He said, وَكَيْفَ تَصْبِرُ عَلَى مَا لَمْ تُحَطْ بِهِ خُبْرًا. How can you be patient if you don't know, if you don't have enough information? What does that mean? Let me give you an example, maybe from real life. How many people drive here? Raise your hand if you drive. Don't be shy. Few, right? Okay, if you don't, inshallah, you'll drive soon, and you do it the right way. Has it happened to you that you're driving and someone in front of you is going really slow? And you are patient and patient and patient, and after a while you lose it. Like, this guy is really driving me crazy. And out of the blue, you just, hit, you floor it, you hit the gas, and you try and cut him. And as you're cutting him, and you're feeling this adrenaline, you're feeling, so beautiful. And all of a sudden you notice, this man is very old. And all of a sudden you feel so crappy. Like, what have I done? Or maybe it's your boss at work. Or maybe it's your teacher. Or maybe it's a principal of the school. Immediately everything changes. All that rage dissipates, disappears. And all of a sudden you either feel compassion or you feel shame or you feel guilty. What changed? I mean, it's the same car, it's still slow, it didn't go any fast. Why have you changed? Because now we have more information. This is exactly what Al-Khidr is saying. He's saying, how can you be patient if you don't have enough information? Once you learn, like how many times you get upset with people? Oh, I called, but he never answers. Oh, I texted somebody, but they did not reply. But then later you learn they were in the hospital, or they were sick, or they were occupied. There was something much more important than your text. And then again you feel guilty. Now what happened? What is the difference? You got more information. And this is exactly what Al-Khidr is telling Musa. This is a principle in life. Usually the reason you are impatient is because you are ignorant. You don't have enough information about the other person. You don't have enough information about the other party. And that's a lesson to all of us. Like, give the benefit of the doubt. That's what we say, right? Give the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they have a good reason. Maybe they have an excuse. And you just don't know it because we're ignorant. But this is a really good advice from the teacher. He said, how can you be patient if you don't have enough information yet? Now, what's going to happen next is exactly the practical implementation of this principle, as we're going to see. Musa is going to lose it several times because he does not have enough information. Now Musa, because he's so driven and he really wants to learn, he said, "Satajiduni insha'Allahu sabiran wala a'si laka amra." I'm going to try my best, he said. I'm going to be patient. Now Musa is not sure. You can tell he's saying insha'Allah, like, I'm not sure, but I'm so like eager to learn from you. So even if I don't know the future, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm committed to being patient. And let's see what happens. And I will never disobey you, he said. Please accept me as a student. Like sometimes you do that. Like even if you're not sure, like, please, I'll do whatever it takes. Like you tell your parent, I'll do whatever it takes. Just let me go to this or that. Let me go with my friends. I'll do the dishes. And you never do them. Right? So he said, "Wala a'si laka amra," like I will never disobey your order. Just let me be your student. Let me be your friend, accompany you and learn from you. So Al-Khidr says, قَالَ فَإِنِ اتَّبَعْتَنِي فَلَا تَسْأَلْنِي عَنْ شَيْءٍ. He said, okay, one condition. You want to follow me, you want to accompany me, one condition. Do not ask me anything until I tell you about it. You're not supposed to start the questioning. You see anything you don't like, keep silent until I tell you about it. Okay, I'm kind of halfway in the story. It's a long story, so now you tell me, do you want to continue now or should we delay till next week? If you're tired, I can stop here. It's a cliffhanger, I know, but you want us to continue or you want to stop? Show of hands, how many want to continue? Okay, and how many want to stop? Man, you look tired. So 3 want to stop? Sorry, you don't win. Okay, let's do this. Maybe I'll go a little faster. There are a lot of lessons which we covered already, so now we can maybe go a little faster. Yes. Excuse me? Yeah, of course. Actually, I don't know what the prizes are. Whoever has the prizes, please send them down. We should have some prizes. Okay, so maybe let me go a little faster. So now they go together. Musa, Al-Khidr, and the boy. The first thing that happens, they're walking. So remember, they're by the sea. So they're walking by the shore, the coastline, and they see a ship coming. So Al-Khidr waves to the ship. They recognize Al-Khidr. They don't know Musa or the boy, they know Al-Khidr, the teacher. So they stop for him. And because they know him so well, they said, why don't you all get on board and we're not going to have you pay anything. It's a free ride. Get on the ship and there's no payment, no fee. As soon as they're on the ship, Al-Khidr, what does he do? He starts digging a hole in the ship. And Musa goes crazy, like, what are you doing? These people just helped us and you're ruining the ship for them? Like, this is how you pay them back? So he said, this is no doubt unacceptable. This is unbelievable what you're doing. You're ruining the ship. Al-Khidr does not answer. He doesn't explain why he did that. He said, didn't I tell you you're not going to be patient? You broke the rule, he said. Musa says, oh, oops, I'm sorry, I forgot. Excuse me. Please let me follow you. I just forgot. I was taken by your action, but forgive me. I'll promise not to do it again. He said, لا تؤاخذني بما نسيت ولا ترهقني من أمري عسرا. He said, please forgive me and don't give me a hard time. Musa speaking. By the way, Musa used to be a bit high in his temper. Like he would get angry sometimes. And he was very strong. He had very strong body. So he said, don't give me a hard time. Right? Okay, so they kept going. So now they got off the ship and Al-Khidr sees a little boy and he kills him. Now Musa loses it completely. He said, are you out of your mind? You killed somebody? And by the way, we have to be careful here. I mean, we're going to explain what happened and everything. Not now, later. And Musa says, this is totally outrageous. لَقَدْ جِئْتَ شَيْئًا نُكْرًا. Like, this is totally outrageous, unacceptable that you do that. This is murder. I mean, forget about drilling a hole in the ship. This is murder. Again, the same response comes from Al-Khidr. He says, قَالَ أَلَمْ أَقُلْ لَكَ إِنَّكَ لَن تَسْتَطِيعَ مَعِيَ صَبْرًا. Didn't I tell you that you're not going to be patient with me? Now, Musa says, give me one more time. Give me one more chance. He said, one more time, like if I break the rule one more time, then you have at it. You can kick me out and we'll no longer be friends. We'll no longer be companions. But just give me one more time, please. Okay? So they keep walking. And then they come upon a village. And they were so hungry now. And the fish is gone, right? So there's no more lunch. So now they're so hungry. They ask the people of the village, could you please feed us? Like, we're so hungry. Can you give us some food? And these people were like rude. They said, no, we don't have any food for you. We don't know you. There's no food for you. No pizza tonight, right? I don't know. Is there any pizza? I hope we do. We have pizza. So they said, no food. Sorry. Go somewhere else. Find your food. فَأَبَوْا أَنْ يُضَيِّفُوهُمَا. So Musa and Al-Khidr kept walking. And then they saw a wall. Like a fence for a garden or a house. So this fence or this wall was around a property. And this wall was about to fall. Like, it's barely standing. It was about to crumble. فَوَجَدَ فِيهَا جِدَارًا يُرِيدُ أَن يَنْقَضَّ. It's about to fall. So Al-Khidr rushes to that wall and he started, fixing the wall. Like it's about to fall and Al-Khidr starts fixing the wall so it does not fall. It does not crumble. And Musa, khalas, he couldn't hold it anymore. Like these people who refused to give us food, they were so rude to us, and now you're helping them, you're fixing their wall, and these other people in the ship, they helped us, and you ruined their ship. Like, how does that make any sense? It does not make any sense. He said, at least ask for some money. I mean, you want to fix walls, fine, by all means fix walls, but at least ask for money so we can buy food. قال لو شئت لاتخذت عليه أجرا. And the man said, the teacher says, this is it. هذا فراق بيني وبينك. This is our point of departure. You're no longer my student, you're not my friend, you're not my companion. We have to go our ways. You've broken the rule 3 times. 3 strikes, you're out. So, هذا فراق بيني وبينك. This is the time we shall depart. But before you go, I'm going to tell you why I did what I did. Do you want to listen to that, or should we postpone till next time?
I can tell you.
No, don't tell me. Just, do you want to hear it or not?
Yeah, just tell me why he killed that boy.
Oh man,
I know.
we should definitely wait till next time.
Can I go on my mic?
We have questions, inshallah, coming. Okay, let's do it quickly. So he said, as to the ship, he says, the reason I did what I did is because there was a tyrant king. So a king who was a tyrant. And this king used to take every good ship. Every good ship he sees in the sea, he takes it and makes it his own. Now the ship belonged to poor people. And that was their only livelihood. They were fishermen. This is how they made their living. They used to go out and fish. This is all they have, this little boat, this little ship. And when I ruined it, now the king will not take it anymore. Because the king takes only what? The good ship. And this was ruined. Now it didn't drown, I mean it didn't sink, people didn't drown. He just made a hole and then he fixed it, he patched it. But now it has a defect and the king is no longer interested in that ship. So he said, see, I saved the ship for these poor people. This is a really important lesson in life. A lot of times we lose something in life and we feel so miserable. But maybe what you lost was important, so you don't lose something bigger. Sometimes you lose money, or you belong to a poor family and you look at the rich family and you say, whoa, I wish I was in that rich family. I wish I was born in that rich family. Allah has deprived me, you say. He has not given me what the other family has. But you have no idea. Allah took away money from you, but He given you something else. Maybe the other family, the rich family, they don't know Allah to begin with. Maybe they're so miserable. You have no idea. So yes, sometimes you lose things in life, but you gain something bigger. These poor fishermen, yes, their ship was ruined, it had a defect, but they were able to keep their livelihood. Think about that. Anytime you lose something in life, think about it. Allah has given you something bigger, you just don't see it. That is a great lesson we have here. As to the boy, it says that this boy was going to grow and turn out to be a really bad person. And this is my way to quickly summarize. And he said that Allah was going to replace that boy with another one. Like they're going to have another child. And he's going to be much better. Excuse me. Now this is going to raise all kind of ethical questions, and I think this deserves a lecture on its own, like a halaqah on its own. So I'm not going to go deep into this much, but I can tell you this is actually could be referring to the parents who lose their children. Don't take it as somebody killing someone else. It could be that somebody lost a child. How do you cope with that? So this verse actually is giving you a way to cope with it. That maybe if that child was to grow and become mature, maybe he was going to be very evil, or maybe he's going to go to hellfire, and now by dying young. And again, I mean, this is really hard to even grasp, but this is a way to deal with the problem of evil. And again, this is a long topic, the problem of evil, but this is just a quick glimpse. He said, as to the people of the village, the reason I fixed the wall was because the wall belonged to 2 orphans. And their father was so pious. The reason I fixed it was because of the father, not because of the village. I don't care about the village. But the father was so pious. And because of his piety, and this is very important to parents, sometimes your kids could be saved because of your piety, even after you're dead. So he said, I only did it because of the father, because he was a good man. And there was actually a treasure under the wall. So by fixing the wall, the treasure would not be exposed. Because I wanted them to grow up and find the treasure themselves. If the wall fell apart, the other people, those bad people of the village would have discovered the treasure. That would not have been good. So he said, rather, I wanted the treasure to be hidden under the wall, so that these orphans will grow up and they will discover the treasure. Again, a lot of things in life, and this is really important about knowledge in general. A lot of times we don't understand why things happen, and we start questioning Allah, like, why did this happen to me? And I've been good and I don't deserve it, and all of that. But these are really important lessons. Sometimes something bad happens, we don't understand why. But maybe 10 years later you say, oh, subhanallah, now that I look at it, that makes sense. So these are the kind of lessons we're learning here. They're really, really deep lessons. And I hate that I butchered it like that, but I'll stop here and I'll open it for questions, inshallah. So if you have any questions about the story, let me know. Otherwise, we'll start the quiz. Yes?
After Khidr, he ruined the boat, did he tell the owners why he did it?
Well, we're not told that he told them. Maybe they get it because they were familiar with that sea and the king. So maybe they got the message without him telling. But we don't know. It's not mentioned in the story. So I don't know. Yes?
What is pious?
Pious? Do you mean piety? Is that what you mean? Piety? Piety is like being a good man.
Oh, rich.
No, not rich. So this man was a good man, and this is why the treasure for his kids was preserved. Any other questions? Yes.
Was he, even though he's pious, is he still rich? Was he still,
Well, he had a treasure.
he was rich?
Yeah, I don't know how big the treasure was.
And
But
also, the property of the wall, does it belong, like the property that's surrounding the wall, does it belong inside that property? Does it belong to the father?
yeah,
So his kids lived there and
no one knew about the treasure because they were so young.
how about the kids?
The kids did not know about it. But maybe he left a will or something like that, so then when they grow up, they know about it and then they can dig it up.
No, I'm talking about like did the people of the village know about
No, they did not know about it, but if the wall fell apart, then they would have discovered the treasure.
Not the treasure, the kids. His kids. Did they know that the kids lived there in that specific place? Okay.
Yes. Yes, over there.
Like, what was like the treasure?
Well, we don't know. It could have been a bunch of maybe it could have been some money and some gold and silver. I mean, it didn't say, but it says kanz, and kanz means treasure. So it could have been any. It could have been a mix of things, pearls, maybe. I don't know. Any other questions? No deep philosophical questions, just like. Okay, then. Maybe the story was long, so you're tired and you don't have. Or I did a very good job and explained everything. Huh? Who did? Oh, yeah. Where did he go?
He went to pick up my dad.
Okay, any other questions? 1, 2, 3. Okay, I guess no questions. All right, so we'll stop here and we'll do the quiz. Let me stop the recording.